Welcome back. Before we get into the lecture, I would like to show you a video.
You see, I like to find my groove. I can find it anywhere, on the street, or at 40,000 feet. I just plug in, connect, and fly high until it's time to show the world what I can do.
I make 1,000 decisions in a day and have countless places to be. I'm inspired by modern design, by intelligent details, thoughtful features, by cleaner air, elements that recharge me. So when we touch down, I'm ready to take off again.
We like to feel at home, even when we're not. With everything at our fingertips. Dinner and a drama, football and cappuccino. Ice cream and animation. Captivate us and we'll come back again and again.
Give us experiences. We want to see the world. Show us more of it. From every angle and perspective, so we can see how amazing it all is. And how connected we really are.
We fly the Boeing 787 Dreamliner. It's a better way to fly.
How did you think about the video? Let's have some detail on today's chapter. After seeing the video of Boeing, what do you think about Boeing? Many of you may think Boeing is an airplane manufacturing company, and it is a very globalized multinational business. Boeing sells its airplanes worldwide and lets air freight companies to transport the passenger across nations. Yes, you are right. However, there is one more thing you should know about Boeing, which is Boeing does not manufacture all the components to build up its aircraft. As you can see on the slide, many of the components are produced by foreign companies. Boeing needs to outsource and import those components from different manufacturers in different countries. So the case of Boeing leads us to the following two questions. What is globalization? How to manage globalization? What drives globalization? Before we answer these three questions, we have to define the level of analysis. For this chapter, we majorly focus on the national level. First, we can say globalization means the world is moving away from self-contained national economies to an interdependent and integrated global economic system. For example, every air freight company in different countries buys Boeing's airplane from USA. This is an example of the globalization for airplane market. On the other hand, Boeing buys the components from manufacturers in different countries. That is an example of globalization for airplane product. Then, when there is an issue such as trade dispute between countries, there are some global institutions such as World Trade Organization, aka WTO, to step in, or as a country like Greece is aging bankrupt. There is a global institution like International Monetary Fund, aka IMF, to lend Greece money. Let's see, what drives globalization? There are two major drivers. One is the declining barriers to trade. For example, the average tariff rate among the developed countries decreased from 20% in 1913 to 1.5% in 2014. The other thing is the technological change, such as the invention of computers, the popularity of cell phones, and advanced transportation. You may wonder what has been changed since the increase in globalization. There are four major changes: wood output and trade, foreign direct investment, the nature of multinational business, and world order. The first change is the share of wood output and export decreased in the developed country, especially in USA, but increased in the developing country, especially in China. For example, we can find many made in China, India, or Vietnam products in Walmart. The second change is the amount of foreign direct investment. As you can see on the slide, the total FDI decreased in most developed countries from 1980 to 2013. On the other hand, the total FDI increased in developing countries from 1980 to 2013. For example, many U.S. companies, especially the car makers, moved to Mexico. Similarly, we find that money flows through FDI is decreasing in the developed country. However, it is increasing in the developing country. The third change caused by globalization is the nature of multinational business. By definition, multinational business is a business that has productive activity such as research, manufacturing, marketing, and sales in two or more countries. You can find since 1960s, there are more and more non-US multinational business as well as small-size multinational business. For example, you can see many small-size platform companies such as Booking.com and Airbnb. The next major change is the communist nation crash in Europe, such as Soviet Union, or change in Asia, such as China and Vietnam. Many of them now are coming to free market economy and increase international trade. In addition, some countries in Latin America, such as Bolivia, are also moving into greater free market reforms. The aim of this chapter is to rethink the critical issue. Is an interdependent global economy a good thing? Some people say globalization is good because we have cheaper products and services, we have a strong economic growth, and we have more jobs. However, other people say globalization is bad because some people lose jobs, the environment is polluted, the national sovereignty is invaded by IMF, and the puller gets fuller. There is no right or wrong for these answers. However, you may find your own argument after you read and get into the following chapter. So, I leave this question open to you here. Alright, that's all for this chapter. If you have any question, write me an email. I will see you next section.